Let's move on to Jaden McDaniels and his fantastic job shutting down the Boston Celtics, making Jason Tatum look like a man on ice skates. What was your thoughts of Jaden McDaniels and the Timberwolves? Like I said, the Boston Celtics struggle with size, and that was something that I had continuously said yesterday that we saw with the Orlando Magic the year before, that Boston struggles with size, especially having the Twin Towers there. Ain't going to be a team bigger than the Timberwolves. So, what was your thoughts from this game? I mean, the Timberwolves look better. I mean, Chris Finch is arguably one of the best coaches in the league. And yeah, let me hear your guys' thoughts, or your thought, Henry.
I thought that the late game execution from both teams was horrendous, which, like, as a Chris Finch fan and, like, at least a Joe Mazzulla optimist and, like, a Jason Tatum believer, I just didn't get anything that happened in the final 2 minutes, which was filled with turnovers and Anthony Edwards' shot clock violation.
Oh,
and,
yeah, this game did.
And Drew Holiday having the ball for, like, repeated possessions. Like, Drew Holiday was trying to, like, run pick and roll, which is notoriously not the strong suit of his game.
Who tried running it?
Drew.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely also thought it was interesting how much Jordan McLaughlin I saw.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Jordan McLaughlin, but he actually left this game with a knee injury also. But he is kind of like the Conley replacement when they need a true point guard on the floor.
So he's been better this year. So I've gone through phases. When we first got McLaughlin, I was all for it. I was all on the McLaughlin train. All right. That first year, he's playing 20 minutes a night, like 8 points. Second year or so. But the last 2 years, he's been this guy who plays like 14 minutes a night, averages 4 points, does absolutely nothing. I mean, this year he's still playing like no minutes, but I guess he only played 4 minutes a night. I like McLaughlin, but sometimes, I don't know. I also sometimes wonder like how he's an NBA player.
Well, my question is, when you are actually watching him on the court, do you feel like he enhances the synergy of the offense? Or both. I mean, both ends. Do you think he just like is a glue guy of sorts?
I do. Like back, like dude, I can't believe he's been in the league for like 7 years. First off, which is like absurd, right?
Yeah.
The thing about that.
Yeah.
This is his 5th year.
This is his age 28 campaign.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is year 6. Year 6. First off. Wow. I thought he was a cool microwave back in the day. We just don't play him enough for me to like give an honest, and like a lot of the time when he comes in, like half the games are okay and then like are good, and the other half are like, oh, Jordan, you know? Because sometimes he tries to snake a pass in that shouldn't be, you know what I mean? He tries to thread the needle too hard, and then sometimes he just doesn't look to score enough.
Yeah.
I think he's too passive, or then sometimes he makes an irrational decision. I like the kid.
Nobody passed more or shooting less than him last year.
I believe it.
He led the league, and Mike Conley was second, dude. That's just the ilk. That's really interesting, actually.
Yeah, it's passive. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird how passive. I mean, with you saying that, I will admit Chris Finch has the Timberwolves point guards being incredibly passive when it comes to shooting.
Yeah. I mean, this list is like spot on. It's McLaughlin, Mike Conley, TJ McConnell, Ryan Arcidiacono, Delly, Ben Simmons, and Chris Paul from last year as assist to usage ratio.
That is a very, very spot on list. I can't believe Delly's just left. He was like, yeah, I want to play basketball, but I just want to do it in Australia.
I'm about to segue to Jaden McDaniels, but the dude who covers the Timberwolves for The Athletic, John Krasinski, he is the guy who put me on to Jordan McLaughlin, like, as he put me on to his importance, because he's a huge McLaughlin fan, and, like...
Is he actually?
Yeah, and just talks about how, like, they look better when he's on the floor. So, I mean, oh no, where'd it go?
Dude, I like John Krasinski. Are they considered beat writers? You know, you make so much money, like more money, starting off as like a print sports writer, instead of being like a local news sports reporter.
That doesn't shock me. Well, writing more than reporting, actually, I guess that does shock me.
Writing's easier than reporting.
That does surprise me, actually, and way less scarce.
Yeah, like reporting, like I have to be on TV, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Limited minutes from McLaughlin last year, but he was a +8, which ranked in the 89th percentile, and the year before he was a +3.3. But he's never played more than like 850 minutes in a season.
Yeah,
So
I do know that.
yeah.
We got ourselves here, Jaden McDaniels, which we're going back. Jaden McDaniels, he's averaging about the same stats as he did last year, I believe. Just the efficiency looks way up because of there. I don't expect Jaden McDaniels to take any steps in terms of scoring wise. 12, maybe a 15 points per game score.
Well, I thought. Oh, sorry.
No, you think he's going to take a jump scoring? I don't need him to.
I thought that yesterday was a telling performance because he started like 1 of 8 from the field and then finishes 8 of 18. He missed his first like 4 threes and then finishes 4 of 9. Like the 3-point stroke is the one thing that could keep developing, and the fact that he continued firing through misses early was like big for me. Like that made me happy to see.
What was Roko's career high?
Robert Covington's career high.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I feel like they could have a very similar scoring career.
I'm going to say 35.
14 and a half.
Robert Covington? Oh, I think he meant in one game.
No,
He
that's
scored 43, bro.
insane.
Against the Bucks in April. Wow, in April of 2022, he scored 43.
That's
That's
absurd.
pride.
So 14 and a half points was Robert Covington's best season. I think 14 and a half, he could do that.
Yeah, no, me too, certainly.
I just don't see him as a 20 points per game scorer.
No.
I don't think he has that, nor do I want him to be that. Because if he has to do that on offense, he's going to be wasting all his energy from defense. So I'll be like, hey, bro, you can take offense off. Just shoot the 3-point shots. I need you and your energy for defense and transition. You know?
He really, he prefers the mid-range still, I'd say. He looks way more comfortable there than from deep, yeah.
Yeah, I'd cut that shit out.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I'd cut it out also.
And just help him shoot mid-range, not mid-range, shoot 3-pointers or dunks.
But it's just interesting that he does that for the sake of like a scalable offense. Like I don't think it'll necessarily project, and I don't necessarily want it to for the same reason you're saying. Like I'd way rather him be just like a supplemental offensive piece and then clamp for me defensively.
Yeah.
But I do think there is some
transition.
scalability.
No, I think he can be more than 12 points per game scored.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I don't see it getting past 15.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I think 15 is a solid number for Jaden McDaniels as a scorer.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, the Timberwolves, there's some games like this one where you buy into them being a 50-win team, and then there's other games where you're like, all right. And Chris Finch is one darn good coach, and I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's like player execution. Also, sometimes Anthony Edwards doesn't. This is a weird year for Ants.
Yes, keep going because you're right.
He looks like he's hunting for stats, and I don't want to say it like
Oh
that,
God.
but that's what it looks like. Okay, I feel like he's heard he's supposed to be an MVP candidate, and he's trying to play MVP ball, but he's not. And what it's looking like, he's supposed to be taking that step, and like I don't know, like what are his averages right now? I haven't looked at them, but he's just watching his body language and stuff. He just looks a little bit more frustrated, as if like he's supposed to, like it feels like he thinks this is supposed to be coming easier now, or like something like that. I don't know. Okay, he's averaging 28, which is career high, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, like career high. It's not translating to wins, and it's I don't know. It looks like he's more he's hunting for stats right now than hunting for wins, and he'd rather end the game with the stats that he wants that look like MVP numbers than end with the win. That's Timberwolves fan. I don't think we're, sometimes it just, I don't know. What were your thoughts? Just, you're supposed to take that jump, and it just doesn't feel like that.
Yeah, well, and I thought they were absolutely bailed out yesterday because he was trying to play. I don't think he's hunting for stats nearly as much as he's trying to play hero ball.
Okay, that's a better way to put it. Maybe it's not the better way. He's trying to play MVP ball. He's trying to look like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander from last year.
But don't they need him to do that?
Yes, they do, but he doesn't look like that, so delegate.
But there has to be trial and error to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like I want him to delegate also, and it would be nice if they could delegate at a slightly higher level. But That's why I think sometimes it looks really good and sometimes it looks really bad. Because even on a night like yesterday, it looks good when he hits back-to-back shots and they pull away in OT. But it looked horrible before that when he has a shot clock violation and they have no methodology on offense. And then Boston just doesn't score also. So then they have more chances to win the game. Like against a team that executes down the stretch, Minnesota does not win that game last night. Not that Boston doesn't execute, but they just happened to not yesterday.
Yeah, I think in comparison, you saw Shea last year be able to be that hero ball, put his head down, get to the basket, be a bull in a china shop, just get to his. And it doesn't feel like Anthony Edwards is able to get to his. Maybe we put the expectations or the things on him too early, but it's the hero ball thing that I think we need something. I think we need to build up his confidence, or I think the best way to do it is, it's not even in the beginning of the games fine. It's more at the late end of the games because like it feels like his mistakes are being compartmentalized, and it's making it look worse at the end of games because in moments where he should be taking ahead, like last year, it felt like Shea took over the last 2 minutes. Anthony Edwards doesn't take over the last 2 minutes.
Yes, he has an inconsistent presence in the game.
Yeah.
And Shea is leaps and bounds above him in that regard on both ends.
Yeah, great way to put it.
Yeah.
Great way to put it. And the reason why I'm comparing him to Shea is that that's the best comparison we can put realistically of like Shea, we knew what he was, and then he took that jump to MVP level. Anthony Edwards, we know what he is. We're hoping he takes that MVP level jump. And there was that moxie, that presence that Shea had all season. All season. Okay, you watched any game. The Thunder were in it because Shea was playing. It doesn't feel like that when I watch an Anthony Edwards Timberwolves game. As a Timberwolves fan, I wasn't even a Thunder fan, but I could turn on a Thunder game without fucking Chet. And I'll admit, like, Shea doesn't really have that presence this year, and I think that's more because he has to delegate and let the younger guys play. But he's still really fucking good. But you get what I'm saying? Like, I think how you said the inconsistency of, like,
his presence
on there. He's not. I mean, Jason Tatum struggles with this too. I mean,
yeah.
Like, I think Tatum's a lot more consistent about it. But Tatum, we've seen it before. Like, this is, I think, what keeps guys from being MVP candidates and all-stars, or like.
Yeah, and maybe it's just kind of his persona. Like, maybe he just will never like really step up and impact every single second of the game.
Or we put the expectations too early because Shea, what was he, year 6 last year? This is year 7? Or was
True, good point.
And Anthony Edwards is going into year 4. Dude, that like what? Shea's like 25, dude. Anthony Edwards is 21. No, like
yeah,
that's a lot of life in 4 years.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's a big part of it too. Like, we're acting like this kid was like Derrick Rose,
Yeah.
Like, Derrick Rose, like, supposedly a very wise guy. Like, Derrick Rose, like Jaylen Brown-esque, like, supposedly, like, presence. Like, you know what I mean? Old man. Like, supposedly Derrick Rose has always been, like, an old man, like, an old soul in a young man's body.
And then maybe Ant is, like, a partial victim of this offense. Maybe he would look better
I think Chris Finch is a good coach. Don't ever come for Chris Finch. I think it's an immaturity thing. You remember? I think not an immaturity thing. I think it's just him needing to grow up because you remember
a wisdom thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because several years ago, Ant used to go into press conference and be like, "I'm ordering McDonald's," and like all these things. And he would. You remember when he called people queers on Instagram in his second season? And the Timberwolves have done a really good job of handling this in-house. Supposedly, they went ahead and they paid for it and to have a personal chef and a nutritionist in his life now, and never eats out. He gets home, there's a meal for him. He wakes up, there's a meal, and lunch. The organization cooks it for him, and he has a nutritionist that gives him a nutrition plan to follow, as well as with the gay slur he used. He allegedly, I think he voluntarily agreed, and they gave him outsourced psychology and like to learn like how, like what by saying things like that, like how he affects people, And they have done a very, because that's what we've talked about this before. I've always compared the John Morant to Anthony Edwards. Like anytime Anthony Edwards has slipped up, the Timberwolves have done a great job of handling it in-house. And I think, naturally Anthony Edwards might have been, more of an immature person, more of a, young, goofy soul. And I think there still is a maturation process that needs to be undergo for him to, to fully be in manhood. And I don't know if it's there, and that's fine. That's part of life. You know what I mean? You can't tell a 21-year-old kid, be a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't necessarily have a ton of maturity questions. I actually like what I've seen from Ant with Team USA.
As a leader.
Yeah, and I think that will just kind of take time. I do like what I saw at Team USA. I think that he has random moments of being stoic and being locked in.
It's there. I just think he's fucking 21 years old. He doesn't know how to tap into it like all the time or like focus. Like when you were 21, you think you could like galvanize a bunch of 30-year-olds to win a game?
Not like I could now. I can do a way better job now. I mean, that's like that even is more of a furtherment to your point.
But I think that's more the thing is like he's supposed to be the leader for a bunch of people old. But I don't think, and I think he's matured. I think he's a person who has shown flashes of being a leader. But he's 21 fucking years old.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's definitely interesting to see. Okay. And I was just reading something. Supposedly, dude, it looks like Trump might actually be going to jail. Also, O.J. Simpson says Bam Adebayo is better than Anthony Davis.
Slow news day.
Man, because I like tough. I mean, it's offensively, Davis when he's on, but Bam's tough, man. And I like tough. And you know what? I like tough. So,
And you know what? When I stabbed my wife 27 times.
All right, we done with the Wolves, or we got more Wolves stuff to say?
Yeah, we're done with the Wolves. We have no games, right?
No games today.
I guess the one thing we can talk about right here is what's going on with James Wiseman and the DMPs. Is he just that bad?
Yeah. Well, I think that you can really tell that Monty is putting a focus on defense because he's playing Killian. And James Wiseman will not defend, therefore he won't see the court.
Yeah, I'm surprised Marvin Bagley's willing to defend, but I guess Marvin Bagley's learned his lesson.
Yeah. But yeah, Wiseman is essentially done in Detroit because they only played with 9 dudes yesterday. And he still probably only played, 10 minutes?
All right, you got, we don't have the games on tonight, right?
Mm-mm. Other points of note from around the league, Joel Embiid scored 48 last night. The Pacers tied their all-time franchise record for points scored.
Really?
Yep.
Slow news day.
Slow news day. For a day off of ball.
Basically, no games tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Let me confirm, but I believe you are correct.
We got scheduling range. We talked everything we wanted to talk. Jackson's not on.
Nope, and 14 games again tomorrow.
Wow. That makes no sense. I'm gonna write a letter by hand.
Dude, we can hunt these scheduling guys down. Well, I think we can find
Dude,
them.
honestly, you know what would be the best thing to have them on?
Secaucus. Let's go to Secaucus. Do the show live from Secaucus.
Yeah, Secaucus. Is that where it is?
That's where the league office is, yeah.
I thought it's Atlanta, Georgia.
I don't think so.
Where's Secaucus?
New Jersey? Or New York?
What? Okay, wait. It might be NBA TV Studios.
Yeah, the league is definitely based out of New York.
New York City, it says. Oh, wait, you're right. Secaucus, New Jersey. The headquarters in New York, but the regional office is in Secaucus.
That's where they go for all the replay reviews and official referee stuff as well.
NBA TV headquarters though is in Georgia because of tax incentives. Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. NBA TV studios. Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys, that's gonna be it for us. Be a friend, tell a friend if you guys did enjoy. If you're listening to this, go check us out on YouTube. And yeah, hit a like and subscribe. We all love you.